Hey guys, I want to welcome you back to another episode on J of All Trades. I'm here in my bathroom and I'm doing a remodel and I'm ready to put in some crown molding with LED lights. The last set of tiles will be going up against the molding, so I need to get this molding up. So here at the top, I just want to point out that I have my power ran for a 120 volt line. This will be used to supply power to the LED transformer. So we're going to get started and I want to show you guys exactly how this crown molding can transform a space like this. The first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to measure from the ceiling to where the bottom of my molding will end up, and that will be 6 inches down from the ceiling. This measurement can vary depending on the size of your molding. You'll want to end up with about 1 to 2 inches of space at the top. So here I'm just making lines with this level, and I'll keep going all the way around until I get through the entire room. These lines will be used as a guide, so I'll know exactly where to place my molding as I install them. Now I have a perfect guide all the way around, and I'll be sure that my molding is going to be level. This will also allow the molding to look consistent, and it will also make your life a lot easier by working quicker and also being more efficient. For this design, I'll be using 2 moldings together. At the bottom, I'll be starting out with Dentil trim molding, and this is a polyurethane molding, so it's perfect for wet spaces like bathrooms. I'll include a link in the description so you guys can go out there and get it if you'd like. Today I'm using a chop saw to do all my 45s for my molding. When you're cutting molding, you want to hold it in the same position as if you were installing it. This saw is a dual compound miter saw, which allows me to do 45s in both directions. To secure my dental molding, I'll be using a brad nailer, and I'll be going about every foot to foot and a half to secure this to the wall. All I have to do is match this molding up with my guidelines that I made earlier, and I'll be level. I'll continue to install this dental molding all the way around until I complete the entire room. Today I'm using a brad nailer from Ryobi. I'll include a link in the description so you guys can get that if you'd like. When I finally got to the last wall, I was only left with a few pieces of this dental molding, and one of the great things about this molding is that you can use different pieces and put it all together and it'll still look the same. I really can't tell where any of them were joined, which makes the molding look seamless. Now we have all our dental molding all the way around in this room, and now we're ready to put on our crown molding. This is the design of the molding that I'll be putting directly on top of this dental molding, and I'll be securing it to the wall with adhesive. The molding itself is made of high-density polystyrene foam, and it is paintable. The dimensions of the molding is about 3.5 inches high and about 2 inches off the wall. This is where we'll be installing the LED strip so that it can be hidden in that groove. These 2 points here sit flush up against the wall and they're secured by adhesive. I'll be installing this molding directly on top of the dental molding to get my desired look. If you'd like to go out there and get this molding, I'll be including a link in the description so you can get it if you'd like. I'll be using heavy-duty liquid nails to secure the molding to the wall. All you have to do is simply apply this stuff to the back of the molding at the top and bottom supports. Then you'll just put this up against the wall and press it in. When heavy-duty liquid nail dries, it's really strong, so I don't have any doubts about this being held on. Heavy-duty liquid nail is actually overkill for this kind of project, but at least I wouldn't have to worry about this stuff falling off. Once you get the molding in place, just apply a little pressure and push it in, and it'll stay. Here is the power supply, here is the output side, and the input side. The output is 12 volts to the LED lights, and the input is 120 volts. In order to hide this power supply, I'm going to make a cutout in the sheetrock right behind the molding. I'm using an oscillating tool by Milwaukee to do all the plunge cuts here. This allows me to make a big enough opening to pass my power supply and hide it behind the wall. There was a piece of wood right behind the sheetrock when I removed this piece, so I'm going to be drilling out this wood and making space to put my power supply. I'm using a hole saw to make multiple holes in order to break up this wood and remove it. Next, I use a good old-fashioned chisel and hammer to break these pieces of wood up into smaller pieces so I can remove it out of the hole. Now I have enough space to tuck my power supply in and hide some wires. It's time for me to wire up this power supply to the 120 volt side, which is the primary side of this transformer. You want to make sure that you have the power off that is going to that line. If you're not sure about which side is the primary side of your transformer, you may want to get an electrician to do this for you. Now I'm going to use some electrical tape to secure these wire nuts to the wiring, just to make sure that the wire nuts don't move out of place. Now I can tuck away the excess wiring into the hole, and in the future if I need to remove this power supply, it'll be very easy to gain access to it and take it out. Here I'm just making a channel for my wiring to pass through to get to the hole. Of course, being extra careful not to nick any of these wires. Now that I've gotten the transformer wired up to the 120 volt side, we're going to get started and wire up the 12 volt side, which goes to our LED strip. I was able to purchase this LED strip from Amazon, and I'll include a link in the description so you guys can go out there and get it, and I'll also include a link for the power supply. This strip has a cover on the double-sided tape in the back, but we'll keep that on for now. First, I'm going to wire this up. With LED strips, there's a positive side and a negative side. You want to make sure that you wire that up correctly to the transformer. On the primary side of the transformer, it's AC, and on the secondary side of the transformer, it's DC. Once everything was wired up, I tucked all the wires away, and now I'm ready to install the LED lights onto the molding. I began by removing this cover on the double-sided tape, but you'll notice I'm only removing a small section of this cover because I want to be able to handle this without getting it stuck on itself. Now I'm going to tape this lighting inside the groove on top of this molding here, and the space is about an inch or so, so I'm able to get a finger in there and just press down on the lighting itself. You really want to take your time here and go slowly so you can make sure that you get every inch of this taped onto this molding. Once I got into a rhythm, I was pretty much good to go until I got to the next piece of the molding that I needed to install. You can choose to install all your molding and then install the LED lights, but I decided to do it this way just in case I ran into any complications. You'll find that this type of molding is extremely easy to handle because it's made out of foam, so it's very easy for one person to do this job. Once I got a couple pieces in place, I started to continue with the LED strip. I was a bit worried about making this 90-degree turn here, but it actually went by pretty smoothly and I didn't need to use a connector for the 90. If your molding has enough space, it's easy to make that 90 without having to use that connector. Eventually I ran out of length on this strip, so I'm going to need to join another strip to this one. This is one of the things that I like about these strips. You can actually join them and continue where you left off. If you look carefully, you're going to notice these copper strips inside of the light. You want to cut that in half. So you want to take a scissor and you're just going to cut right in the middle of it. Here is a closer look at exactly where you need to be cutting. I'm going to be including a link in the description for the strips as well as the connectors that I'll be using today. This connector will allow me to couple these two strips together, then I'll be able to continue my install. This part was a little bit challenging because the connectors are so tiny. You definitely want to take your time and do this so as not to damage the LED strip. After a few tries, I was able to get both ends to connect into the connector, but it definitely wasn't a walk in the park. Once I got both strips into the connector, I was able to use this linesman's plier to clamp down on the connector. And there's actually metal pieces inside that clamp down into the copper. You don't want to over tighten this because you'll damage it. Here is how the light looks with the connector in place. Now I can continue running my LED strip all the way around. I've just installed the last piece of molding and I'm ready to finish off this last run of LED strip. Here I'm just trying a different method of using a flathead screwdriver to get into the groove to press down on the LED strip, and it really is doing a good job of helping me to tape this down as well. Once I got to the end of the run, I shut off the power, and then I was able to cut this where I needed to. And now the entire run for the LED strip is complete. Here I've got some white caulk, and this is especially made for molding, and this is also paintable, so that's very important. The reason why we're going to be using this is to fill in any of these gaps here that you can see. And we're going to start applying this stuff in the bottom, and we're going to continue all the way through until all the gaps are filled in. This is going to give the molding a seamless look, and it's going to give it a nice clean finish. Here's a comparison to show you what caulking really does. On the right side, you'll see a gap in the bottom, and on the left side, you see that gap is closed up, and it really makes it look a lot neater. After that was done, I started applying this stuff on all the seams just to close up any gaps where I could find them. And then once everything is all applied here, I'll be able to paint right over this in any color that I'd like. This is my bathroom after I finished installing the crown molding, and I hope that you guys like the way that this turned out with the dental molding as well as the crown on top of it. The LED lights really does bring the space alive, and I really like the way it turned out. If you guys found this video to be valuable, please remember to like and subscribe to my channel so you can continue to get more videos like this one, and I'll see you guys on the next one.